Alex in the case I press. I'm here with Jeff Molina, who returns to action on June 4th. Jeff, how are you, man?
I'm good, brother. Living the dream. How you doing?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. I'm happy to be talking with you. 15 days until your fight. How you feeling?
Let's go. 2 weeks till lands, man. 2 weeks till I can eat some carbs and then I can eat on fight day. Feel good, bro. I feel good. It's been a long camp. I'm just ready to rock.
Yeah, so it's been 6 months since your last performance. You've had 6 months to kind of stew on it. How'd you feel about that performance?
I felt pretty good about it, man. I wasn't happy after the debut with the performance. I thought I had a kind of a piss poor performance. I thought I showed like a shell of myself in that fight, and I just wasn't happy with it. Obviously, there's a lot of pros that came from that fight. I get a lot of fans from having a kind of like a barn burner debut, and I got a bonus. So there's not a ton to hang my head on, but I wasn't happy with the performance. Fight of the night means it was competitive, which also in return means you took your fair share of brain damage. So I wanted a clean kill, and I think I did that in my last fight. I think I took two head strikes, and they were hammer fists from bottom. So if I can get into a fight at the highest level in the UFC and not take any brain damage, that's a plus.
Yeah, I mean, I've told you this before, but I think you're the only person on planet Earth that didn't like your UFC debut.
Yeah. I hear that, man. People are like, why didn't you like it, man? Like you got a lot that came from it, like a lot of fans, obviously some extra money, but man, I know what I'm capable of, and I felt like I had a really shitty performance that night.
Do you wish you were on Twitter before your UFC debut?
Yeah. Part of me wishes I would have took advantage of that, what that fight did for me as far as people knowing me. Maybe hopping on directly after the fight or before would have been smart, but hey, man, that's life.
I mean, you're very good on Twitter. You're sneakily you're very underrated.
My man,
You're
man,
pretty
that,
good.
that's my sense of humor, dude. That's what I grew up with, like trolling with my buddies on Xbox Live, talking shit, shooting the shit, just that type of. That's my type of sense. Like that's my sense of humor. Just shooting the shit, and I don't really get offended by much, man. There's not much that people could say about me that's gonna offend me, and I'm into the whole Twitter sphere, man. The bird
Yeah,
app's pretty cool.
yeah, it's been fantastic. So you've taken 6 months between both of your fights. Is that by choice just to get better?
Yes and no. I was kind of banged up going into the last one. I was pretty banged up going to the last one, yeah. So I just wanted to get healthy, man. And my timetable to return was May. I wanted to fight in May. What was offered to me was June, so a little longer than expected, but I'll take what I can get.
What were some of your injuries going into your last fight?
Man, 2 weeks before the fight, I was flying out for to corner Tim Elliott in his fight. On my way to the airport, I totaled my car and still made my flight though, man. Just still made my flight. I get to Vegas and granted, I'm fighting 2 weeks later, so I'm not going super hard. I'm already cutting weight, and I'm rolling with my coach. My ankle just snaps. It was a freak injury, man. I have the video of it. It's pretty gnarly. You just hear it snap, and yeah. That wasn't fun. So I was dealing with that, man, and I couldn't even like walk for 2 weeks before my fight. So that was a bummer. So let that heal up, and then dealing with some shoulder injuries. I got some stem cells done in Vegas, and I feel great now,
Fuck, snap your ankle 2 weeks before your fight. The fuck.
dude. Yeah, but my
um,
coach too, man. Obviously, it was a freak accident. Like we were going super light, man. We were like lightly rolling, and it just snapped at the fighter hotel.
Dude, that is insane. So you've told me and you've told most of the media that like you just want to get better and like you don't want to rush up the rankings. But you know who also said that was fucking Tom Aspinall, and then he main evented in London and fought Volkov in the next fight. So,
Yeah,
you know, it's just kind of.
Man, I feel like heavyweight's kind of in a similar boat as flyweight as far as it's not that steep. I feel like that's slowly changing. I think Contender Series fights just got announced, and I saw there's like a fuck ton of flyweight fights on there. So I feel like that's slowly changing. But yeah, you're right, Alex. Like that could be what I'm saying, but that might not be what happens. So um, I'm in no rush. I've said it time and time again. If I have to fight number 15 through number 1 to get to the belt, I'll do that. And then the time I'll just keep getting better.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got aging on your side, really. Like you're still super young. You know, I feel like you got the UFC in your hand, basically.
Let's go. Love it.
I did want, I wanted to go back to your pro debut. And I just wanted, because I always find it fascinating how professional athletes deal with their first professional loss. And so I want to know what the emotions were like, because you went undefeated as an amateur. You get your pro debut, you lose. Like what was going through your mind?
Man, that sucked. That hurt, man. I don't think I've ever been really like depressed in life before, up until that point. And that might not necessarily be true, but to the point where like everything sucks, you don't want to get out of bed. Like, of course I've been sad before, like I'm a fucking human, but like as far as like hating life, like that was me after my debut. I was 19 years old, undefeated as an amateur, and of course I'd lost before. I lost in wrestling, high school wrestling. I'd lost kickboxing fights prior to being 18. But there was just so many circumstances that went into that debut, man. I had a hard time finding flyweights to fight, so I went up a weight class and fought a guy that was like 4-0, and back then I was like 130 something pounds, soaking wet, and there was a lot of circumstances that went into that fight. Again, not making excuses, but like I just at the time I had this like almost like feeling of invincibility, like my shit didn't stink, like I was the fucking man, like and I got humbled real quick. Yeah, that losing the debut sucked, and I think I fought a month later because of that. Like I wanted to get rid of that taste that was in my mouth of losing, like putting your life on hold for. I think I was in camp for that fight for like 8 months. Just debuts kept falling apart, like a week before the fight, 2 weeks before the fight. And when you're in camp, man, or at least for me, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I put my life on hold. Like I focus just on the fight. I try to get into the best shape possible. And I obsess over this. And it's not like I don't do that outside of fight camp. Like I'm training every day outside of fight camp as well. But the mentality is different. But of course, the diet's different. I'm a fat kid at heart. I like food. So yeah, you put your life on hold for X amount of time, and fights just kept getting like pulled apart for my debut, and couldn't find any fights. I was trying to plan vacations around fights to hang out with like friends and family, and we'd book the Airbnbs, we'd book the flights for after the fight, and the fight would fall apart. So then I'm back in fight camp. And that happened for 8-9 months, and then finally had that fight. So just the lead up to it caused the I guess the depression, and a lot of people might not understand that, but man, putting your life on hold, making the sacrifices you need to win a fight and be at the top of your game, and then to lose fucking sucks, man. But it's part of the game.
Do you think that might have just been good for you to I guess like humble yourself and kind of just reevaluate everything?
Yeah, 100%, man. Hindsight's 2020, but I think at the time it happened for a reason, and I learned a ton from that fight. And man, I started off my career as 1-2 as a pro, and I told a story earlier this week with John Morgan of like me retiring after my third pro fight because I was 1-2, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I'm never gonna make it to the UFC now. My record's trash. Like, what's the point of doing this? Like, what's the point?" And I was 19 years old at the time, or maybe I just turned 20. And it's just funny to look back now and be like, dude, I'm in the UFC. I'm about to have my third fight in the UFC, and it's just yeah, I think everything happens for a reason, man, and that's why that happened.
Dude, 19 years old, I was snorting Xanax, about to land in fucking rehab.
Yeah, man, you do some stupid things when you're young, for sure.
So, all right, Zhalgas. Well, first of all, did you get to work with Brandon Moreno during this camp?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's at the gym right now. I got to work with him this morning. He's been with us for the last 2 weeks, and then he was here last month for a couple weeks as well. He's in the
How's
beginning of his
that?
camp for Kai France. It's been awesome, man. Brandon's he's the man. He's such a outgoing guy, and I think he fits the culture at Glory perfectly. Like just he's super like bubbly personality, just a good fucking dude. And it's been really cool to have him as part of my camp. He's obviously championship caliber and my weight class too. So it's a confidence booster. Like I know where I'm at. So to have teammates like him and Tim Elliott as my main training partners, like that just boosts my confidence.
Yeah, just two straight killers. So it's
Yeah, yeah, dude, they're
ridiculous.
savages.
Ridiculous. All right, so Zalgis, man. When they came to you with the matchup, did did you know who he was?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a student of the game, man. I watch fights 24/7. I don't discriminate. Amateur fights, pro fights, all the fights, world star. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, man, I knew who he was. I think he called me out after one of his fights. Might have been the Jerome Rivera fight. He said it at the press fight conference, and I just remember something got lost in translation. And it basically the translation that I got that said he said like he wanted to fuck me, but I think I had some Kazakhstani people message me. It was like, dude, he meant fuck you up. But I just thought that was funny. So I knew who he was, and I actually reposted that when the fight got signed. I just thought it was funny. It was like some picture of him saying that. But yeah, I knew who he was, and I was down for the matchup.
It's like something you do at face-offs. You're gonna be like, "So you're gonna fuck me?"
Yeah, yeah, bring it up. Yeah,
um, Awesome, man. Well, what do you think of the matchup?
I love it, man. I love it. He's game. He's good. I think his track record in the UFC doesn't kind of speak to the type of fighter he is. He has some big wins on his resume. He's beaten Bagatinov, Tyson Nam, Ulanbekov, and in the UFC, I feel like he hasn't got the shine he had outside the UFC, and he's fought some tough people. That being said, I do think I'm better than everywhere. And I do best against these type of guys, these shorter, stockier, little fire hydrant built. They throw big hooks, big overhands. I feel like I fought kind of a lesser version of him on Contender Series.
Mm.
I do think Zalgas is way better than the guy I fought on Contender Series. And I'm just excited to fight this next level of competition. I do think Zalgas is the best fighter I fought up to this point. And he's good, man. He's good. I do think he's real AB, just real traditional. Wings the hooks, wings the overhands, and they're educated hooks and overhands. But I feel like I'm gonna find them, and I'm just gonna snipe them.
Do you think it's a perfect third fight for you in the UFC?
Yeah, yeah, I love it, man. I feel like it's that next level up, and I'm excited to show that I'm ready for that level of competition.
At the end of the day, on June 4th, how do you get your hand raised?
Man, Zalgas slows down. He might not slow down like cardio wise, but his feet slow down. I really think I'll be able to find him. I'm thinking late second round, early third round TKO.
Love it. I love it. Finally, last couple of things for me, man. What do you want the rest of your year to look like? Do you plan on taking another 6 months off, or like I know that you like to fight in front of fans. So are you trying to hop on a big
Dude,
fight
put me in
card?
front of fans, man. Put me in front of fans, man. Like to take me from my debut, which is the first fight back in front of fans at Jacksonville on a stack card. I think there was like 3 title fights. To make me fight in front of the Apex twice back to back. This is my 3rd time at the Apex after Contender Series. Man, put me in front of fans. It's like giving me fucking ice cream and then never allowing me to have ice cream again. Like I want fucking ice cream, man. I'm a fat kid at heart. Like, yeah, I want to fight in front of fans. So after this, put me on a pay-per-view card and or not even a pay-per-view card, just in front of fans, and let's run it. As far as timeline wise, September. I'm going on vacation in July, so I like longer camps. So late September, early October, I'm in there.
And of course, I got to ask, You think you'll get a ranked, or do you want a ranked opponent next?
Sure. Yeah, I don't discriminate, man. They send me a name, I say yes to as long as my coach is cool with it. I don't really care if there's a number next to their name. There's a couple names in mind I have for after this fight. That may or may not be ranked. I'm not too sure, but I said it to you earlier, Alex. Like if I have to fight number 15 through number 1, I'll do that.
I've been saying this to a lot of people, and tell me if I don't know. I think you're the full package, and I think that the UFC may have a superstar on their hands. You knock people out, you look good, you speak well, you got a fucking fun personality. Like, do you think the UFC knows what they have in you?
Oh, man, I like that. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I've spoken to UFC employees that seem to be big fans of me. I know you have to do more than just be good at fighting to be successful in this like entertainment industry. And I know that. I think I have that fighting piece down. Like I've never been in a boring fight, man. Never. Like from
No.
if you look at Contender Series on, or even like my kickboxing fights when I was 16, 17 years old. Um, there's some wild fights, and I think you have to have that combination of everything. So whether the UFC realizes it or not, like I'm going to show it to them.
Gotcha. Love it. Cool, Jeff. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plug your sponsors, thank anybody, the floor is yours.
Sweet, man. J Molina _125 on the grams and Twitter. And no one to thank. Just thank you, man. Thank you for having me.